Hey guys, my name is Seniac and welcome back to another episode of Transport Fever 2, the Netherlands edition, where last episode we implemented hovercrafts for the first time ever in the Netherlands, which is now transporting people to and from these two islands to Harlingen right now, which is connected up to our big transportation network, which is looking absolutely beautiful. More people can get to these places, which means not only Harlingen, but the other two cities on the islands right now have all of a sudden got a huge boost in public transportation numbers, that they're now going to go for a huge growth spurt, bigger than they've ever seen before. It is getting absolutely scary how big they can now get. But the island cities will be limited to what space they've got available on the island, which is very interesting in many ways. Now, today, I want to try and attempt something that I've never done in this series. And we all know cities benefit from having public transport. Like, for example, Harlingen right now. Actually, no, forget Harlingen. Let's take, for example, Leeuwarden here. Because it's connected up to such a vast transportation network, it means that all those destinations equal to a 420% growth bonus for the city. But because it's not really connected up to any other city, the only roads it's connected to is itself, which means the private transportation numbers are a little bit on the low side for the size of the city, which only give us a 60% boost and bonus. Now, compare that to a city like, for example, Amsterdam, where it has only 40% more on the public transportation, but it has 200% more on the private transportation. That's because that city of Amsterdam is connected up to a bunch of other cities via roads. Now, what that means is we need to get these cities connected to the cities around it via a road to give it a bigger bonus. Now, the more people live in the city, the more people that get transported, the more money that we make. And then rather than just doing what I've normally done in the past, and that is just creating a basic road that kind of, connects them all up. You can see I've done it between Rotterdam and Den Haag here, and a load of roads leading to all the other places. Why don't we build an actual highway? Yes, you heard it here first. And I'm going to build it over here solely because, one, the cities are a little bit more spaced out. 2, they don't have current connections. 3, they're not big enough right now, and I've got space. It'll be very difficult to implement a highway around here because of the, how much it's grown. But I think it would be a pretty cool idea. Now, if I was to do this, we're going to have to kind of figure out the road layout. So before we do, I just want to say, if you are enjoying the series, smash that like button down below. Subscribe if you are new, so you get notified when more episodes do come out. So basically, I'm going to need a highway that runs all the way up and a couple of kind of crisscross as well. So if I can kind of find out where the crisscrossy points are going to happen, I could place down in the street constructions the big cloverleaf interchange, which is not the most efficient, but we don't experience traffic like in in City Skyline, so the cloverleaf should work. It should work. Now, we're definitely going to have one that goes from the south all the way up to the north. That's a given. Now, where would we have them crossing over? So from Emmeloord here, it would be a good idea to run through, maybe skedoodle down and go that way. So we'll probably need one in this vicinity. I'll need one that comes from Strav over here and in. So one around here. And then obviously one cutting across this way. So one down here. Now, I want the highways to kind of borderline be on the outskirts in many ways. So then you just connect to it with a decent connection. So I could connect to the highways with a T intersection. That could work. That could work. So let's first plan then anyway where we're going to have the highways run. So let's go for actually a good point. What is this cloverleaf like? It's got 2 lanes. So we're going to go for a 2-lane highway is what we're going to go with. Right, I'm going to run this then. Coming up here. Bending, going across there. And then bending and going back up. So I want to keep it simple, efficient, but also want it to kind of slightly make a little bit of sense. So if I ran a road going all the way up to, for example, here to begin with. Now I've got to remind myself, what side of the road do vehicles drive on in the Netherlands? Is there no, like, cars driving around? Right, they drive on the right-hand side. I should have realised that because, you know, your boy is from the UK. Now, how do I do a parallel road running along? There we go. Very easy, very simple, boys. No messing about. No messing about right now. We've got this locked and loaded. Look at that. Right. That is the beginning of our highway situation. So, I'm going to need it to kind of go this way as well. So, I'm trying to figure out the angle. So, if I ran here. So, let me just kind of very briefly build this. Because this is going to lead to go over as a bridge. So if I now bring this up, that's way too big, isn't it? Yes. Do I go a little bit longer maybe for the bridge? I feel like that's way... Oh, we can fine tune the drop down, couldn't we? Right, that works. That works as a bridge. I mean, do I change the style? Now, we'll keep it like that. That will be fine. And then mimic that going up and over. Oh, snap. What happened there? I thought it was paralleling. I thought we were doing a parallel. What happened with the road? All right, we'll get to there. And then back down. It's as soon as it touches the ground, isn't it, where you kind of lose out. Oh, now there's collisions. I see how it is. Right, we'll do it ourselves. All right, there we go. Right, that's interesting how it's decided not to... build perfectly parallel, but it does what I need it to do. It still does what I need to do, and we've kind of got away with that in a weird way. Right, we're going to be running up this way. So I'm going to have this run like this. And then you running down. And then we're going to go up and over. So that's going to kind of continue. And we need to make it start turning. So how soon do I make it turn? Do I make it turn on the bend? Oh, let me try and do like a bendy bridge. So if I was to kind of align it like that, and then decide to go up, which is too high, obviously, down. Oh no, I pressed the wrong button. So up, down. But then fine-tune the height. Which I'm hoping that works. So you've got to stay connected like that. Run it down. Bridge up and over. Oh, no. Okay, so the angle is now completely off. That angle here should now work. You don't realize, because I never build highways in this game, you don't realize, you know, the thought process you've kind of got to go through to actually get them to work. You don't realize this stuff, do we? Right, snap you in. Snap you in. That runs there is now all set up. That run down to here. Oh, hello. Is now set up. We have a glorious highway now running through this part of the Netherlands. Now, we're going to make it end, but I want to first focus on where the crisscrossing is going to be happening. Now, the more I look at it, the more interesting this can now get. I was going to decide to kind of come off here, go that way, but I could also make them connect to there, run up, and then have a turn off, either coming down this way, or even have a turn off intersection around here to go this way. there's a bunch of now possibilities. I also haven't kind of gone as far down there as well. Now, what if I had it coming this way and then this running all the way through? That could also work. And if the city is connected to the highway, it's a way in which I can then control the traffic. But if I had a clover there, I could have a clover here. It just means getting rid of one of these lakes. That's probably what I'm going to end up doing, is getting rid of one of the lakes. Right, landscaping, flattening. Unfortunately, you got to go for the purpose of infrastructure, baby. Doing what the Dutch do best. Flattening land. Right, smooth. Smooth, 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 smooth. I might have to get rid of that one. We will see. We will see. So if I delete here and here, and give us a bit of space for a clover leaf. Okay. Bit of space here. And then road construction. So I need to then fine-tune that bend. Okay, so I see the issue now is the way the clover leaf is going to look and work. Okay. I feel like I would need it here. Right, okay. That's the thing. You don't realize, obviously, you're looking at 90-degree turns. So let me get this bob on. So if I was to go here, let's just say I implemented the clover leaf. Let me turn it a bit more. Let's say I implemented it here. Okay. Let's just go there for a second. It means I then have to change how we add the roads to it. So you would be flying directly into there. And where you would be flying directly to there. So that works out on that run. You're into here. You're into there. And then this is going to bend instantly. And then run down. And then we'll bend it down and round. So this is where we then set up the intersection stuff now. So I'll definitely have one coming down here to enter into that area. But also having one be a major point of entrance in here. So I've also got to make sure that we kind of bend this around. So it's too close to the railway, that. It really is. We'll definitely bring that here. So if I implemented you there, that'll give me enough room to do the bridge going over. Would I have another one down here? At the minute, I'm going to say no. No, I'm going to say yeah, we could potentially have one. We could potentially have one. So if I implemented this like that, then that will give me the option to run another one just there. I'll explain it in just a mo. So then I'm going to want one on the opposite side. I'm going to put this all into pause for a minute. There we go. So I might have to reposition that industry. And let's say that went there. So that one's going to go there. I'm going to see if I can get away with having one pretty close by. We'll play around. If not, we'll scoot it back slightly. So that should work. So this is going through this tight little squeezed area. And then that's going to run as a dead stop into this. So that's fine. Running up this way, I feel like we need two. So if I killed off you there, and then killed off you, and you there, we're now going to implement two of these bad boys. So the roads, the parallel does change. So if I implemented you there, And then we threw in another one. A little bit spaced out there. And then would it make sense to have... it makes sense, sorry, to have a... What do you call it? The clover leaf implemented actually here. So the annoying bit of all of this is we got to delete it like this. Because I can't forget the clover leaf going that way. So if I was to throw you in here. But also, are we going this way to go around? Or down? No, we're going to go around, aren't we? So where could I implement another clover? I don't think I've got the space for another clover leaf around here. I could throw something in there, but it's not going to work. So if you wanted to go from there down to here, you got to come all the way down. Which defeats the purpose unless I had... Unless we had here. This bad boy. To allow me to come down this way. To where I'll have a connection there, and then that leads itself down to here. So Dratchen has got, if anything, a very good highway connection. It actually is going to have a very good highway connection. Right, we're going to continue that going down, so we'll have a connection around about here. That's going to continue down this way, to which I'll have a connection then here. So that comes down into there, crossing over, and then we'll have our big figure of 8. I'm going to say about there. Right. That's as far as I'm going to build it today. Okay? That's as far as I'm going to build it today. It does seem quite excessive, and you've got to squeeze it in some of the more of the built-up areas. But I think this could work very well. This could honestly work very, 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 very well. So let's just connect up a couple of cities first and just see how it all unfolds before we do the mass system. So street then, let me just get in this little connections now. There we go. Alright, it's a bit wobbly and stuff in some certain areas, but it will all work out in the end. So we're going to sort out a decent highway connection now. Figuring out how we do the highway connection is also my next issue. I reckon we all base it off a roundabout. So if I do 2 lanes and I do it by a 20, so that could kind of bend into here. So if I drop the roundabout there, and let's go streets, and we just require a medium country road, I reckon. To connect, yeah, we will have 2 points that enter and exit the roundabout. And then from this, I'll have you that kind of bends that way. And you that bends that way off the roundabout. And now we've got the system that allows us to run all the way in. So let me kind of run parallel to at least there. Right, that city is now connected to the highway network. Oh, this is crazy. This is hilarious and crazy all at the same time. Right, I'm going to kill off you for a minute while we position our roundabout. So let's just say it goes... I mean, I can make this one a bit bigger. I can go 30 to try and integrate that connection there. We'll try and do this one at the same time. So we'll do this one a little bit earlier. Maybe go back down to a 20 there because the size is not heavily needed. So if I delete you and drop you there. Right, let's sort the roads out first, the connecting roads. And what I'll do is I'll run this, so... Alright, a little bit of a diagonal on that, which is fine. It's fine, it's fine, it's fine. Come off like you, there, you're there. That runs into you. And you gotta slightly adjust it where you can. But it gives us a couple of alternatives for that. But because we've got one over here as well, it should theoretically work out. Have I done that the right way round? How do you know which way the road's going? Ah, I've done it the wrong road. Have I done the right road there? Yes. Okay, I thought I did it wrong. Alright, there we go. So, leading down to you. Very easy, very simple. So I can actually now, it's not connected to any other city at the minute apart from these two cities. Once I got this full-on connection in. So I'm going to bring you directly up to there. And then obviously that is going to cut across. And then we're going to run that down to there. Actually, make it go a little bit further. Again, gives us a couple of alternative connections. Leading in. So I've built the highway as, rather than doing a road connecting, which I could do, I've utilized the highway instead. So just between these two cities, let's see how quickly they then start utilizing this system. So they've got 30%. They've got 60%. So the numbers should slowly start to change as you start seeing vehicles then exiting the area and then utilizing my highway. Now I could, in theory, just try and make it a little bit more friendly for them to access these places. So are these vehicles here on the way over? Will this be the first vehicle to enter from what I'm visually seeing? It looks like it's going to be. It looks like it's going to be. And off it goes. I'm going to assume there's some vehicles already on this system. Not yet. No, so that is literally my first vehicle. So how far is it going? Oh, there's a deer there. Watch out for the deer, guys. Oh, very realistic. Oh, it's going to the next turn-off. Okay, that's pretty cool, isn't it? That is pretty cool. So it's a better way, because now you can control the vehicle traffic. If we could go back in time, we'll do it like around the Amsterdam area. But I still believe that may be a little bit too small of a place to run such a vast area. Wow. All right, listen, guys. I did not build the height on this overpass here. That was that's the vanilla overpass, okay? That is wild. Imagine a horse and cart trying to get up that. But they're now about to enter in. So it works for one vehicle. Oh, no, there's another one there as well. Another one there as well. Okay, they're slowly... Oh, another one there as well. Okay, they're slowly starting to use it. So that is now still 30 at the moment, but that number is, it should be going up. It does take a time sometimes to update. We discovered that in the last episode. Yeah, that is definitely going up. You're definitely going up. So back into pause then. We can now continue with the expansions. Right, let's start getting the rest of it all in. And go back to the highway road. Boom, 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 boom. So let's just sort out the highway. So that's going to run into here. So we can put the old bendy wendy back on. Run that into there. So you can run into there. And then we were going to have to build an overpass. First, though, can I skim this? Or am I... Oh. Ideally, I need to go through it. So I'm just going to delete this for now. I'm just going to delete that for now. Let me just see what I can do first then with this. So if I brought this going through, can I first get away with a bridge? So how low can we go first? So we can do that if we can get away on both sides. There we go. That will do. That will do. Alright, run you to there. Bend you in. Nice. So that stretch is done there. We just got to do the connections, obviously, to the road. But let me just first figure the rest of this out. So that runs to there. So why is there a collision? Is it the way it's trying to do its parallelness? In you go. And then run this to here. But obviously, overpass. Overpass. Right, bring you to there. And then that should run directly down. Glorious. Oh my goodness me. We can connect up now multiple cities. So, Hervine right now has got another connection down here, obviously. I could squeeze one down here if I wanted to kind of do a long-winded process one. That would be good for vehicles or going down to Zawal. That's how I pronounce it. Let me first then sort out some roundabout connections. So let me delete you. Delete you there. I'm going to delete that there because I'm going to try and build them all in at once. So, roundabouts. There we go. There we go. This is going to be a pretty close one. Throw you in here. This one, that's a close one as well. We'll throw you in here. I maybe be able to get a slightly larger one there. Which we'll go with. Slightly larger one there. And we'll go for a slightly larger one here. Am I going to run one from this direction? Most likely. Oh, we've got to do this side as well. I reckon we could probably get another cloverleaf. So coming out here, connecting into there for an entry over on that side. So let's just say I went for you here, which resulted in having you there. I might as well throw it in because I'm building it anyway. Well, that feels about right. Just gotta get this situated. Oh, I keep pressing the what do you call it? The bulldoze button instead of the rotate button. Right, push it back by 2 more. And I'm about to press the bulldoze button again if I'm not careful. Right, about there. Let's go crazy with the roads then. Right, you're all the way down. All the way down. And then if we ran that to there. This should connect into there nicely. So I'll do all the highway connections first before we do the physical road connections. All right, there we go. Just over here. I didn't realize building I've chose to build it this extensive, but I didn't realize building an extensive network like this was going to take a little bit of time. Right, that's all in. We've got to get down to here then. So let's say that ran into there and then bent in. And then I'd rather run parallel and then it kind of like bridge off it towards the end. Then anything else? So bringing you down. There we go. Right, that works fantastically. Oh, I did have this as well, didn't I? I forgot about that. Ah. I'm forgetting about certain parts. Right, run these together. Not a problem. We can quickly sort this out. Right, that will do. And then if I just drag the long road, it's not going to work. But that will work. Damn, this is extensive. I can't believe it. We've basically almost built a ring road around Dratcham right now. We literally almost have. Alright, build it in stages. There we go. And then this was going to lead down to here. I get to run parallel as early as I can, and then that's better for us. So that leads around, so it gives them a couple of alternative ways in which they can drive. More importantly, that will eventually go down to there. I'll do that after. So I've got the roundabout there, there. These are all connected. Oh, I've got to go that way as well. Let's not forget that. Got to drop a roundabout here. So building constructions. Just when I thought I'm almost there, there's something else I've got to do. I'm actually going to go in a bit more with the roundabout here. So that one there's dropped in. That's got to go up to here. I will need a roundabout there. And I would need a roundabout. I'm going to drop a roundabout between these two. That's all in, that's all in. And I'm going to need one over here as well. So I'm going to drop this one just there. Right. There's me thinking I was almost done. But there's more to do. There is more to do. So that's all in. I'm going to run this round to here, down to there, down to there. So let's start with a connection like that. I can just go up and over. Now, oh, I'm about to say, what's the issue here? I'm not actually on the road. Yeah, that will work for us. That will work. There's no dramatics going on there. So this running straight down. And then we kind of bend it at the end. You running up. In. Easy enough for that section. Right, let's do the easy bits first. Run you down. And then we're going to run this round like that. Do the old bridge. So that extends all here into the center. Got the roundabouts in, roundabout there. That can continue going down wherever it may go. I've got to connect these now in. I feel like I'm making progress now. I feel like we actually are making progress now. I could still be wrong. I could do all this and go, oh, no, I got to do all this yet. Right, that's to there. So this, I'm now going to hopefully fly over. So, oh, okay, I don't want the bridge to go on that long. So I'll run you to there, run you in. Up and over. And down. Ugh, those bridges are different heights, and I don't like it. That's better. Right, that's to there. All that system there is done. So the only last little bit of highway before I can do actual connections to all these cities is just up here right now. And that comes from this road connection here. So bring you into there. And if I then chose here, add a sweet little bend. Running that down. Right. All the connections I want for now, I think are pretty much set up. Oh, no. See, I told you. We get so far and then there's something else to do. Okay, I think... Let me just go over them all again. I think all the connections are there. I'm just going to connect them to the actual city. I've kept it as simple as I can, but I've got this extensive highway run right now. And I don't make any money from this. I'm spending money to make no money. But what I'm getting in return is city growth. That theoretically gives me more demand, more passengers, and then that makes me more money. So it's an indirect investment, if that's the best way to pull it, right? So let's go and start from the top and then work our way down then. So we'll do some solid connections coming in. So that is going to run down here, but I'm wondering if now, if I crossed there, there's too much of a slope apparently. I reckon, delete your back. Can we cross the road over? I got to wait for where there's no... train line crossing, basically. And delete you. So run you down. There we go. So we get the connection there. I'll do another one. I don't think we'll utilize this. But it's there anyway. So it gives us a couple of alternatives to how we can rummage through the area. A part of me wants to connect this up to there, but I know they won't use my highway system then. So we're going to hold out for just a minute. Right, you're into here. You're into there. And then we'll bring you going out. which that will run through. Same here now, so bend you in. That goes that way. And I think that's all you're getting at the minute. So that is going to benefit from here. And we'll do one there. I'm not a fan of this road. So what I'm going to do is run this going down. You waving through. And you waving through as well. So we get a few alternative connections. That's all the connections for that city. Not amazing. I don't like how close that junction is here, by the way, but it should be okay. There's a few alternative connections for that one. Here, straight in. And then straight in there. For this, obviously straight in. And then a little bit of a bendy-wendy for you. And out that way. Let's just sort this one out. Bend you round and down. Right, so that city is 3 there done. There's 4 on this city. Let me just double check in again. There's 2 on that one, 1 on that one, 1 on this one, and there's 2 over here right now. And can I run this through? Do you know what? Kill that off. I know having roads going through rail lines is not the best. But, you know, it's not the end of the world. Right, have that running all the way down here, because you're going to run through. You're going to run through. You're running through. You're running through. Solid connections. So that's them done there. There's then this city over here, which we only have 1 at the moment. That will do. And there's only 1 on this city as well. It's probably better to come off here. And then run you up. Pick a point to run out. So some of them will need alternative connections. And it may cause bottlenecks, but we'll see where the bottlenecks come from it. And then we will adjust in the future. So theoretically then, I think I'm all now done. So back into play mode. And all these cities are going to have a meltdown because all of a sudden they've got private transportation that they can now take. So give the game a chance to now catch up with itself, basically. That's all we can now do. And these numbers will then start updating and we'll start seeing vehicle traffic then going places. So it will take some time. It will take some time. So this is the original place that we kind of got up and running. So you can see where we're currently at now with this one. And it's a case of also how far are they willing to drive. There's a bunch of vehicles over here making their way down. So they're hopefully going to be skedaddling out of here. Now, not all of them, you know, a lot of people will opt for public transport. You know, that's how it works. It's how it works. But you get the odd ones who do want to drive. And it's beneficial for them. So it just takes time to see the numbers. It takes time to see the change happening. There we go. Vehicles joining on this highway system. Any on the way down here yet? Not at the moment. And I'm going for my We haven't seen anyone kind of tackle a cloverleaf yet, have we? Well, there's a few now utilising this. A couple now making their way down here. And, oh, here's a cloverleaf. With a vehicle on the way. One lone vehicle. Any coming from this direction? Yeah. You got to give them time. You've got to give them time. You're going straight through. Not even utilising my cloverleaf to its full extent. How dare you? How dare you? There's a vehicle there climbing Mount Everest. And, oh, okay. Now we're getting vehicles using the cloverleaf around here. It's pretty good, isn't it? It is pretty good. But it won't benefit everyone. You know, and you probably see minimal vehicles utilizing it. But all of a sudden, they've got road connections. We've just gained 10% instantly off that city. This one's going a bit longer. An extra 10% over there. Actually, it could be more than 10%, to be honest with you. But slow improvements. But there are extra bonuses that will grow the cities to be a little bit bigger. And thus giving me more passengers. I can also run a bus service if I really wanted to as well. You know, all these things are beneficial. But let me know what you think about my highway system. I've never really built a highway system in Transport Fever 2. Not fully properly. I've kind of dabbled in it in a couple of series. But not to the extent of this, where it kind of almost makes a little bit of sense. It almost does make a little bit of sense. New ferries, by the way. A lot of vehicles now driving down here. So that's kind of cool to see. It is beneficial. It is beneficial, boys. It is beneficial. So we'll see how it all unfolds. We're most likely going to get traffic somewhere. Most likely we are going to get it somewhere. But I feel like because we've implemented all the public transport beforehand, the systems that alleviate the traffic are already in place. So I think we'll be okay. He says. How confident is he? Who knows? Who knows? They're going for this cloverleaf over here. Hold on. I'm about to say, I'm sure I just heard a steam train. Oh my goodness me. I've still got steam trains on this oil line. I could hear it in the background going, hold on, that's a steam train. Right, I've still got steam trains. I didn't even realise that. That's hilarious. That is hilarious. But I'm just checking around anyway, seeing how everyone's getting on. It's pretty good. So the difference between two areas, it would be very, very difficult to implement. I mean, it wouldn't be difficult. It would just take a lot of work, a lot more time. Look at how long it took me to implement that. Imagine implementing a highway system around here. We do have traffic issues. Oh, we have some serious traffic issues here. Wow, okay. We might need to solve those in the next episode. Holy moly, we got some traffic issues right now. Maybe a highway is needed, guys. But we'll see how this all unfolds anyway. It will increase numbers. It will slightly grow the cities to be a bit more bigger. Give them additional options to travel. It can only be beneficial, couldn't it, boys? It can only work out to be beneficial. And we'll see what happens. Very extensive highway network. Until next time, I will see you all soon. So, goodbye.